Hello, my people. It's your girl Debbie Doesi Ajom. Welcome to another episode of Life Law. I've got another story from the storm before the storm. But before we get into it, please give us 5 stars on Spotify or Apple Podcast or any other podcast platform you're listening to this on. Better ratings mean that more people get to see the podcast and then listen to it. Thank you so much. Do not forget to also leave a review or a comment after listening to this story. Let us know what you think about it, what you loved best, your favorite characters, or how you think we can also improve our stories. Thank you. Yes, this is a work of fiction as usual. Names, characters, places, and incidents are products of my imagination and are used fictitiously. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, business establishments, or events is entirely coincidental. For today, the title of our story is Fear Women.
If you see my lady, you go say the sun is dark. When she know they at the corner thinking about my life.
I always wanted to have a son, but all I got were 2 girls. Hold on, don't crucify me. Of course I love my daughters. They make me incredibly happy. Whenever Binta calls me Baba, my insides melt. She's only 3 years old and still learning to speak. My first daughter, Peace, is so brilliant. She always tops her class and collects several awards at speech and prize giving day. She's 6 years old and in primary 1. But like a man who hasn't eaten his craving yet his stomach is full, I still hoped for a son deep down. I married my wife when I was concluding my higher national diploma program, and luckily for me, I got a job as a driver for a private company. She told me she started selling puff-puff outside my school gate after dropping out of secondary school. She had lost her parents to a fire that spared her because she was in school, and her late mother's puff-puff recipe was all she could depend on to survive. She didn't want to go back to her parents' village. She wasn't educated enough, but I fell for her and she fell for me. We had our traditional marriage and were joined together in holy matrimony. I wanted her to quit selling puff-puff, but she insisted that she needed to keep herself busy and not be a complete housewife. In many ways, the puff-puff business has turned out to be a great help to us. For instance, when Binta fell ill a few months after she was born, I was denied a salary advance to help pay for the hospital bills. It was the flour seller, whom my wife always patronizes, that loaned us the money. Afterward, my wife had it paid in installments from her puff-puff business, and I later completed the rest when I got paid my salary. With my job came an accommodation. We moved into the 1-bedroom apartment in the staff quarters, and although it was far from the institute where my wife did her business, it was better than to continue paying rent where we were staying previously. Soon, Peace joined us and then Binta. Peace took after my looks, while Binta took after her mother's. I am a dark man with a smallish stature, while my wife is a light-skinned woman with an imposingly tall frame. Yes, my wife is taller than me, but I doubt she would have gotten a taller man to marry her, so I guess she's lucky she found me. Like a pensioner who has been paid 12 months pension all at once, I was excited when the doctor informed us that we were going to have a son. It was only after we were under the duvet with my wife's sticky body in mine that I began to have second thoughts. I slid my fingers on her neck through the length of her arm and back while she snored softly. We had been too spent to get up and have a bath, and the sweat had dried up on our bodies. The doctor had said my wife was 2 months pregnant, but I couldn't remember touching her during the previous month. Our marital bed had been feeling the weight of our bodies every night, but not the weight of our love or the sounds of our ecstasy. My wife had developed the habit of complaining of severe headaches or general fatigue whenever I began to nibble on her earlobes or she felt me rising behind her in bed. Her business was always the reason for her refusal to take me to higher heights. She was now getting bigger orders for events, which left her feeling drained by the end of the day, even though she had employed 2 helps and now has a kiosk in place of the open-air shop. She even began to sleep farther away from me when we always spooned in bed. I never complained about this. I was certain the phase would pass. In fact, I was looking forward to the day she would be the first to make the move. I was contemplating whether to give in or let her also feel how I feel when she tells me she's not in the mood. But in the end, I gave in, and it never happened again, no matter how hard I tried. That was just a month ago. Has my wife been cheating on me? Why would she? How could she? When does she have the time to do this? Where does she do it? With whom is she cheating on me with? The questions formed in my head without answers. I lifted myself up and stared at my wife's face. Her long lashes and small lips make her look like a baby. So innocent. How innocent. I shook my head and sensed the thoughts scrambling. I told myself, my wife wouldn't cheat on me. I'm a hideous person for thinking like that. My wife is hardworking and industrious. She takes care of our daughters well, and now she's pregnant with my son. I need to cut her some slack. I became a better husband throughout my wife's pregnancy. Even though I couldn't afford to take a break from work, I made sure to assist her more in the house. I woke up as early as 5 a.m. and helped prepare my daughters for school. I cooked and cleaned and then prepared for work. After driving the staff to work and running errands at the office, I bought fruits or suya or whatever new cravings she had on my way back. I gave her a fervent warning not to go to the shop and to let the helps handle the business in the meantime. I didn't want her stressing my unborn son, but I married a stubborn woman. My husband, if I sit down too much, my legs swell, she mumbled. I had caught her dragging her legs while her protruding stomach dragged her backward to the house one evening that had closed earlier than usual. Why are you so stubborn? Eh? Don't you know you're stressing yourself and the baby? She looked so cute and childlike. My anger evaporated. I just went for a walk now. Exercise is also good for the baby, she mumbled again, keen to defend herself. I shook my head and laughed. Walking all the way to the shop and back is not an exercise fit for a heavily pregnant woman. Come, let me go and give you a massage. She held my hand and I led her into the house, where Binta was playing with building blocks on the rug, while Peace was huddled in a corner with a book. 7 months later, my wife gave birth. I named my son God's Will. It's been a year now and my son is growing into a big boy. I look forward to taking him with me on long walks and teaching him to be a man when he gets older. I grab yogurt and bread for the children on my way home. On reaching the gate, I hear loud female voices coming from inside. It sounds like a heated argument. I honk several times, but no one comes to open the gate. One of my colleagues hisses and alights from the bus. Soon, the gate is flung open and I drive in, stopping to drop people off in front of their flats before heading to mine. That is where the noise is coming from. There's already a crowd gathered. Most of them are the nosy wives of my colleagues and their children. I park the bus away from the people blocking my path and jump down. When they leave, I'll drive up to my veranda. I wonder what the hell is happening here. You are very stupid, my wife screams. After helping you with a job, this is how you choose to repay me? By stealing from me? She's yelling at one of her helps at the shop. I don't know which. Ever since she put to bed, she only drops by the shop when necessary. The helps turned out to be very efficient, bringing home the proceeds made by the end of each day. Auntie, don't call me a thief, oh. I've never stolen from you or anyone before, the girl retorts. My wife lands her a slap on her face and the girl shrieks in pain. Madam, it's okay. This is not the right way to go about things, I hear some of the spectators say. I've never seen my wife this angry before, and the woman before my eyes can hardly pass for my wife. Her fair skin has turned red, and a spasm of rage has contorted her face. I begin to push my way through the crowd. Whatever the girl did, my wife shouldn't humiliate her by causing this hullabaloo in front of her house, and especially not in the presence of our neighbors. How dare you slap me, you cheating wife? The whole crowd gasps and goes silent at the girl's words, prompting her to keep talking. I'm now in the front, but no one has noticed my presence. My heart is beating twice as fast. My wife tries to grab the girl's mouth, but she slides away. Shameless woman, cheating on your husband with your gate man. Then she ululates mockingly. People are whispering fiercely now, obviously enjoying the scandal. Keep quiet, my wife admonishes, saying things you don't know about. Rubbish. But she no longer looks angry. She looks guilty. The girl emits a sinister laugh. Does your husband know Godswill is not his son? Eh? Shameless woman. She spits at my wife's feet and picks up her scarf and purse, brushing her shoulder against mine as she walks away. Tears begin to stream down my wife's cheeks. She looks down at me and her eyes almost fall out from her sockets. She can see that I heard everything. It's a lie. It's not true. She keeps repeating and shaking her head. I look away from her to Godswill, who's in the arms of the other help, and I finally see him after months of looking at him. His head is huge. He has frog-like eyes, big, firm lips, and he's stout. He looks nothing like me. Now I see it. I look away and catch myself staring at Francis, Godswill's real father. How did I never see this? He looks away when he meets my eyes. The crowd is thinning. I can still hear my wife crying and repeating the falseness of the girl's claim, which you all know is the truth. Dada! Dada! I look back and see Godswill calling me, his arms spread out for a hug. A tear runs down my cheek as I walk away. I get into the bus and hit accelerate, but not before I hear Godswill burst into uncontrollable tears. I cursed the day I met my wife.
I know want to bother anybody in this life, but my shorty, I want to bother you, no be lie. I know want to deceive you, I know want to lie.
You have come to the end of episode 8 of The Storm Before the Storm. We upload new episodes every 2 weeks, so kindly hit the follow and subscribe button so you do not miss out on our new content. Share this episode to every story lover you know. Rate the podcast, leave a review, and check the show notes for more information on this amazing artist whose song I featured in this episode. If you would love to advertise your products with us, my email and social media handles can be found in the show notes. Do follow Lifeflow Podcast on Instagram and TikTok at Lifeflow_podcast. See you in the next episode. Bye for now.
Do you like mosquito? Raining all your life.